As you can see, I am flying solo this week for my UFC 282 Best Bets video. Not that I couldn't get a guest. I was just super busy this week. I had a couple of video shoots that were non-MMA related that took up a lot of my time. Had some fighter interviews that took up my time. So here I am on a Thursday trying to squeeze this video out before weigh-ins tomorrow morning. Just doing it alone with some notes in front of me. Semi-half-assed, which I apologize for. I did the research. I usually put a little bit more effort and oomph into these videos, but my article's coming out tomorrow. And even better news, Tapped Out is back this weekend, folks. Saturday, 7 to 9 p.m. for the foreseeable future. We are back on the BetQL network. Check us out. Brendan Tobin, Sean Levine, myself. We all get into MMA, all the nonsense. We got some good guests on. Hoping for a big fighter this week on the show. We'll let you know. But if not, we're back anyways. Got the best bets for you on that show. And I also interviewed Jared Flash Gordon this week, who's taking on Paddy Pimblett, and Cameron Simon, who's taking on Steven Kozlow at UFC 282. Both of those are on my page and on the Scrap News. But anyways, let's talk UFC 282. I lied. Let's first talk UFC Orlando from last week. Super quick, I promise. Stephen Thompson throwing it back 15 years of age, putting a beating on Kevin Holland, finishing him before the fifth round could start. I was shocked. I had Holland winning that fight. I had a pretty decent bet on Wonderboy Thompson by decision, but I did not see him finishing Holland. So hats off to Stephen Thompson. Not very happy he tanked my bet, but it was a great fight nonetheless. And anytime Wonderboy gets it done, I'm happy as a fan. Another bet on the card that really screwed me up, cost me a positive night, was Mark Jacasey dropping the ball against Michael Johnson. I don't know why Jacasey had his hand up like, I won that fight. This is me. So confident. Why, dude? You lost, okay? I'm the only idiot in the world, the only idiot in the media who freaking scored the fight for you. And I still can't believe that was a reaction to that close a fight. I'm not here sitting screaming robbery because it wasn't a robbery. Michael Johnson got it done. I didn't see it that way at first. If I went back and rewatched the fight, maybe I'd see it differently. Not a fight I'm going to rewatch, but Jacasey killing me, man. Wonderboy Thompson finishing Kevin Holland, killing me, man. But that's all right because it was a great night of fights, entertaining nonetheless, and we're going to make our money back this week on UFC 282. So let me sip this water, and then we'll get into it. All right. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bets for you, 3 singles, a prop, and a parlay. A little bit of the whole 9 yards. Get the whole taste of the rainbow there. Let's start with an absolute banger of a fight. Ilia Topuria -140 versus Bryce Mitchell +115. I got to ride with the favorite here in Ilia, especially if he stays under a -150, -175, which I think he will. The line might even close here because Bryce Mitchell is an absolute freak on the mat. And as we saw in his last fight, he's also a freak standing up because he knocked down Edson Barbosa, which nobody saw coming. I still am going with Topuria, 4-0 in UFC. This is really going to be a match of wrestling versus jiu-jitsu, right? Bryce Mitchell, one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in all of featherweight, all of UFC. Twister, almost hit a second twister. I mean, just absolutely insane. Or did he hit 2 twisters and almost hit 3? I need to look this up because I can't be giving you guys incorrect information out here. Bryce Mitchell breaks down the twister. Okay. Yeah, pulls off the second twister. Oh, no. Okay. Bryce Mitchell hit 1 twister, almost hit 2 twisters. Nonetheless, insane BJJ, wrestling versus BJJ. I just think Topuria's wrestling is going to really outmatch Bryce's BJJ. Topuria is so freaking strong. I don't really want to use Ryan Hall as a comparison here because I don't think that's fair to Bryce. I think Bryce would absolutely poop on Ryan Hall in a submission battle, but Topuria put it on Ryan Hall no matter where that fight went. And we also saw him excel in the striking there like he does very often in the UFC, knocking out Jai Herbert his last time out. Bryce has hands, like I said, he knocked down Barboza, but you look at the technicality behind it, the power behind the punches, it's all Topuria. I don't think Bryce is going to be able to rely on his jiu-jitsu here like he so often does, like he so confidently can do. He has people afraid to shoot in, or excuse me, he has people afraid of Bryce's shot. Topuria is not going to be afraid of Bryce's shot. Topuria is going to welcome Bryce's shot with hands, a good sprawl, and flipping position to top control. I really think Topuria is a different animal here. I think Bryce is crazy. I think he's a top 10 featherweight, rightfully so, but I think Topuria puts it on Bryce, proves to everybody that he might be next in line or very close to a title shot. So Ilia Topuria -140 favorite. Let's cash that. Moving on here, little underdog action I like. A lot of people are going to call me crazy for this, but we can't look at the memes. We can't look at the recent, whatever you want to call it, misfortune of missing fights. I'm going with Darren Till, plus 155 against South African Dricus du Plessis, minus 190. Why am I going with Darren Till? I'm going with Darren Till because I truly believe he is the better striker. You look at the experience, Darren Till has done it all. He's fought the best of the best. Sure, he hasn't beaten the best of the best, but he's fought the best of the best in 5-round circumstances. Dricus du Plessis he's not a green fighter by any means, but he doesn't have the experience. Okay, not the experience that Darren Till has. Darren Till, when you look at the striking between these two, it's going to be a striking match. Dricus du Plessis is a crazy striker, throws what I like to call sloppy hooks, but it still lands and has crazy power behind him, and he has such a great gas tank, usually picking up and excelling as the fights go on. But Darren Till, as I mentioned, the 5-round experience, his technical striking is so good. His fight against Robert Whittaker is one of the best showcases of technical striking there's ever been in the UFC. He lost the fight, great fight, close, competitive fight. I just know that's the fighter Darren Till is. I know that's the fighter Darren Till can be. And I think after so much time off, after so much misfortune in these past few fights, after so much, whatever you want to call it, pull-out game strong for Darren Till, I think he gets it done this week, and I think he pieces up du Plessis, who we know to start slow. I don't think you can start slow in a 3-round fight against Darren Till. If this was 5 rounds, maybe I have a different pick here, but it's not 5 rounds. This is a 3-round fight. Darren Till's going to go in there and piece up du Plessis in the first round. The second round, I think he breaks du Plessis down. I don't think du Plessis is going to be able to close that distance against Darren Till. I don't think du Plessis is going to be able to land one of his wild hooks, and I don't think Darren Till is going to tire against du Plessis like some of his past opponents have. So as long as my man Darren Till's an underdog here, I have to put a little bit of money on it. Don't be thinking I'm throwing my whole wallet down on this man. I am not. But plus 155, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. And damn it, I'm going to put some money behind that. Moving on here, my last single, we're going to the co-main event of the night. You know, as Patty said, he coined the MMA fighting term, the people's main event. All that drama aside, I got to pick against Patty here. The odds are tempting me on Jared Gordon plus 210. Patty's a minus 275. I think that's nonsense. I think that's absolutely crazy. I interviewed Jared this week. That's on my channel in the Scrap News. Jared is just, he's in a different mental state, okay? Jared is all about helping others, bringing awareness to mental health, addiction, and recovery. An absolutely great human being. But talking to Jared this week, he has a level of respect for Patty, right? Because Patty's a very exciting fighter. He's a very good person, you know? He brings awareness to the same things that Jared brings awareness to. But he also knows he can beat Patty. He knows he will beat Patty. And I tend to agree fully. You look at the competition between the two, it might be unfair for me to say, you know, Patty the Batty is green in his career, but in the UFC, he's freaking green, man. Luigi Vendrame, Rodrigo Vargas, Jordan Levitt. Come on now. Jared Gordon could probably beat up 3 of those guys at one time. The level of competition that Jared Gordon has had compared to Patty Pimblett's is, I mean, Jared's fought some of the best fighters in the world. He's been up and down. He's been in the UFC a long time. He's 19-5. The experience is all Jared here. You put that aside. You look at the actual technical aspects of this fight. Jared's a dog, super durable, crazy gas tank, and he likes to wrestle you and drown you into the mat. And if he can't do that, he's got really strong hands, and we've seen him have great striking in the past too. Patty, on the other hand, chinny, sloppy striking. Can he land? Can he do something spectacular? Sure, it's MMA. It's 6-ounce gloves. It's Patty Pimblett. He can land, but he relies on the nonsense. He relies on the craziness, on the hooks. That doesn't work against experienced fighters in Jared Gordon, man. And then you look at Patty's BJJ, phenomenal, right? We've seen him tap out Jordan Levitt. He's tapped out great guys throughout his career. Jared Gordon is equally as good on the ground, if not better. His wrestling is certainly better. I just don't see an avenue for Patty to win this fight, long story short. I don't. Unless if it's going to be some crazy shot that he lands buckling in towards Jared Gordon. I just don't see it happening. And I don't see that shot happening either. I really think the experience and the durability of Gordon's is enough to win him this fight. I almost think the UFC is wanting Jared to be like a stepping stone here for Patty to get to that next level of competition. That's a mistake. Jared Gordon is not that guy. He ain't that guy. Okay? He's not that guy. This fight goes back a long time, too. Jared beat Patty's teammate, Chris Fishgold, years ago. Patty, for the UFC debut, was like, give me Jared, give me Jared. Dana was like, dude, Jared would kill you. We're not going to do that. Here we are, a year later. They're giving him Jared. Don't think Patty improved enough in that time. Jared Gordon, plus 210. Cash. Okay. Moving on here to my only prop play of the night. I don't know. Maybe you're going to call me crazy for it, but I really like it. I think Magomed Ankalaev is going to knock Jan Blachowicz out. I'm not sure if it's going to come in the first, second, third, or fourth, maybe even fifth round. But I don't think Jan's seeing that bell. I think he's going to go to sleep by the power behind Ankalaev's punches. Ankalaev, he's just one of the meanest guys on the planet. Despite what you think with the Yuri, Glover, Jan, Ankalaev drama, Yuri hurting his shoulder, Glover saying, I don't want to fight, MMA Mania saying he's scared, bro. He's not scared, bro. I just don't think Jan is going to win this fight. What we've seen recently from Jan has not been great. He beat Rakic, sure, but he was losing that fight up until the injury. The fight against Glover, man, I am not one to say a fighter quit. I don't like to do that. I'm not a fighter. I have no right to say that somebody fighting in an octagon in front of a sold-out arena quit. But from a fan's perspective, it did not look like the same Jan Blachowicz that we have seen over the years. I think Magomed Ankalaev is hungry. I think this Dagestani region of the world is dangerous. The fighters they produce are killers. And everything we've seen from Ankalaev in the UFC has proven what I just said. Knockout pro, can wrestle you into the ground and make you tap, put you to sleep standing or on the canvas, hold you against the cage and beat you up. It's all about avenues to victory for me. That's my thing. Avenues to victory. How can Jan win this fight? He lands the right hook. He lands the left overhand. He gets the Polish power knockout. That's how he can win this fight. But then I have to look at who is he going up against? Magomed Ankalaev. How does he close that distance against Magomed? How does he make it past his kicks? How does he get him up against the cage, hold Magomed there to break and elbow him or hit him with a big hook? How does he do that against Magomed? How does he get on top of Magomed Ankalaev and ground and pound him for a finish or catch him in a submission? How does he do that? I don't think he does. I don't see that happening for Jan. If I ask myself the opposite question, how does Ankalaev win this fight? Well, great counter striker, also can push a pace, crazy kicks, strong punches, super active. All five of those things I just said is an advantage over Jan, and that's just on the feet. You go to the ground, Ankalaev has insane wrestling. His top control is one of the best, probably the best in the division, except for Glover. If the fight stands, I don't think Jan can close the distance. If the fight goes to the ground, I don't think Jan can compete. They're light heavyweights. They're not bantamweights. You can't just buck and turn every time. When you have somebody on top of you who's from Dagestan, who has wrestled his whole life, and who weighs 225 pounds, you're not getting up. Just ask Israel Adesanya. So I have to go with Ankalaev. You can't play as single. I really think he's knocking out Jan Blachowicz here, plus 100. 5 rounds. You think Jan's going to survive that? I do not. It's a prop play. Don't play it big, but at plus 100, double your money, baby. Double your money. Those are my main plays for the night. I have a parlay. I haven't really done a whole lot of research on this parlay, so I don't feel super confident broadcasting it. I'm going to broadcast it because I know I'm going to play it. But again, the research isn't there compared to the rest of the bets I gave. And my notes are very empty for this one. It just says, I don't know if you can see it. There it is. Cameron Simon, minus 375. Raul Rosas Jr., minus 250. That's minus 130 parlay right there. The youngest 2 people on the card. Pair them up, minus 130. I think that hits safe. You talk about Cameron Simon going up against Steven Kozlow. Stephen Kozlov's coming in on short notice. Only he had 2 weeks to prepare for this fight. Okay. Cameron Simon out of Team CIT in South Africa, training with Dricus Du Plessis, who's going up against Darren Till. Absolute stud. 22 years old, 21 years old. He turns 22 in like 3 weeks. He's probably the best prospect in the UFC, and his name's not quite there yet. He knocked out Josh Wong Kim on Dana White's Contender Series. I fully expect him to put on a show. Kozlov is great at BJJ. That's his thing. The mat is his game, but he's not good enough to submit Cameron Simon from his back. Cameron Simon is a great wrestler, and before you get to the mat, the fight starts standing, and Cameron Simon has fists for days. So Cameron Simon is just going to beat up Stephen Kozlov on short notice there. Minus 375 is going to look like it should for him. You pair that with the young buck, the 18-year-old. What is that nonsense? Raul Rosas Jr. going up against Jay Perrin. I mentioned this for Patty. The UFC is maybe giving him a stepping stone fight, which I think they will fail to do in that circumstance. I think if you consider Jay Perrin a stepping stone for Raul Rosas, I think that's a stone he's going to walk right over top of, okay? Raul Rosas is going to take Jay Perrin down and wrestle him for 3 rounds if he doesn't submit him first. Jay Perrin, no disrespect to my man, but I saw a quote on Twitter earlier. Don't remember who it was, so I can't credit you, but it said Jay Perrin is the Jared Vendera of the bantamweight division. And I'm going to end the video on that note. Those are my bets, folks. December 10th, this Saturday, UFC 282. Main card starts at 10 o'clock. Before the main card, tune over to BetQL Network. Tapped out, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll give you the nonsense, we'll give you the bets, and we'll have some fighters on for an interview. Also, Locker Tonight, Manpreet MMA. He'll be joining us, so we will see you all there. Thank you guys for watching. Let's cash them bets and Magomedov and Goliath. And new.